For months, the balance of power in this part of Bandipur has been shifting. A young challenger has arrived. Known as the Karari male, this emerging tiger is no longer content with merely passing through another male's territory. Every confident stride, every pause, and every fluid movement suggests a predator testing the limits of its growing confidence. And today, he has set his sight on something ambitious. Not a deer, not a wild pig, a gaur, an animal that can outweigh a tiger several times over and is capable of inflicting fatal injuries with a single well-placed blow. When a tiger stalks a gaur, it is often evaluating the herd as much as the individual animal. We often imagine the challenges tiger versus gaur, but Karari male here is trying to answer a critical question. If I attack this animal, who else is coming? That's why many gaur hunts are abandoned long before the charge begins. A tiger may appear indecisive, but it is actually conducting a risk assessment. The tiger is looking for an injured animal, an old bull, a distracted individual, a separated subadult, a gap in the herd's awareness. If none appears, the hunt ends. The audience says nothing happened. The tiger says, I survived. People expect apex predators to be fearless. The most successful apex predators are often the opposite. They are extremely selective. The herd is feeding peacefully, unaware that a pair of amber eyes has been locked onto them for several minutes. Karari doesn't rush. He studies, he waits. The forest seems frozen around him. As I watched him through the dust and filtered light of Bandipur, the silence felt unbearable with tension at times. But his movements are measured, every muscle restrained. The slightest mistake could turn hunter into casualty. A tiger's greatest weapon is not strength, it is patience. The gods continue feeding, but Karari male has already made his decision. His stare never breaks. The distance closes inch by inch, hidden beneath the silence of the forest. And somewhere within that herd stands an animal he believes is vulnerable. The question is whether the tiger's confidence is justified, or whether largest wild bovines on earth are about to remind this rising king that power and experience are not always the same thing. Well, missed. He had to slip back into the forest empty handed. Understanding a truth every great predator learns. Sheer confidence may be helpful, but success is never guaranteed in the wild. However, this was anything but a reckless charge. It was a calculated gamble by a young male determined to prove that this landscape now belongs to him. Something that an African cheetah won't take even in his wildest dream. So I received this interesting question in the video where I have shown how Indian domestic buffaloes remained totally unflinching at the sight of African cheetahs when KP2 was in dispersal mode from Kuno to Rajasthan. This is a rare natural history moment. For most domestic Indian buffaloes, a free-ranging African origin Indian-born cheetah would be an entirely novel predator shape. India's native cheetah disappeared somewhere around mid 20th century. So generations of livestock have grown up without evolutionary or learned experience of them, zero evolutionary memory. Here it seemed like buffaloes didn't even consider cheetahs as any potential predator. Most didn't move from their positions an inch. In a striking dissimilarity, I saw strong alertness in goats at the mere detection of tiger presence, even though they don't immediately flee in panic. Goats are generally considered the largest wild bovids alive today by mass and overall bulk. Huge bulls can exceed 1000 kg, sometimes approaching 1.5 tons in exceptional cases, with shoulder heights around 2 meters. They are taller and more massively built than African buffalo, American bison, European bison, wild yak in many cases. Typical gore responses during tiger's suspected presence include sudden freezing and intense staring, lifting head high to scent check, bunching together, positioning cubs centrally, and deep explosive snorts, pawing ground, and sometimes direct mobbing behavior. Large bulls may actually walk towards the suspected tiger location cautiously. This is because goats are not typical prey psychologically. Adult gore are dangerous enough to injure or kill tigers. So their anti-predator strategy is often based on intimidation and collective defense rather than escape alone. What makes gore especially intimidating is not just weight, but body architecture. Towering shoulder ridge, immense neck muscles, dense bone structure, and powerful frontal build. A mature bull gore can look almost prehistoric in Indian jungles. And this is exactly why tiger ecology is so extraordinary. Very few solitary predators on earth routinely attempt prey from the god size class. Even lions usually rely on group hunting for comparable bovids. A tiger capable of killing adult gore is operating at the extreme upper end of solitary predatory power.
ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಆಯ್ತು ಕೊರಟೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ
And imagine a tigress who is killing rhino. If that is true, as I heard during my safari in Kaziranga, and I was finding it very difficult to actually digest. But what's fascinating is that prey animals often respond not only to specific species recognition but to more general predator cues like body posture, eye placement, movement style, stalking behavior, scent, and gait. Here it seems it evoked some kind of curiosity in buffaloes, but zero panic. Now, to answer this specific question, a coalition of adult male cheetah might bring down a small or weakened domestic buffalo calf, but healthy adult Indian buffaloes are generally far beyond what cheetahs are built to handle, especially if they are wild water buffaloes like the ones I have shown in the Kaziranga landscape. This is not mainly about the group size, it is about biomechanics. Cheetahs evolved for explosive acceleration, light skeletal build structure, suffocation bites on medium range antelopes, and minimizing injury risk. They are not built like lions who are power grapplers, tigers who are like ambush muscle tanks, or spotted hyenas, bone crushing endurance predators. An adult Indian buffalo can weigh somewhere around 400 to 900 kilogram, has massive neck musculature, thick hide, dangerous horns, and hard defense behavior. Even 3 to 4 male cheetahs would face severe danger from trampling, horn injuries, exhaustion. At that time, leopards can attack them, and failed grip control. Remember, cheetahs kill mainly by destabilizing prey during high speed chase in long grasslands. Buffaloes are too massive to trip efficiently and too dangerous to wrestle. In Africa, even the coalitions rarely target very large bovids unless they are juvenile, isolated, injured, or trapped in a very peculiar condition. There are occasional reports of cheetah coalitions killing young wildebeest or juvenile eland, but that is already near the upper edge of their capability. Indian domestic buffalo is evolutionarily much closer to the kind of animals that lions or tigers specialize on, not cheetahs. So Indian village cattle are still difficult prey, even for a coalition, because they stay near humans, often move in groups, and many indigenous Jebu cattle are surprisingly defensive. They often stop, stare, bunch together, or confront rather than flee in open grassland style. That kind of disrupts the cheetah's hunting strategy and pattern. So if Kepitu or another cheetah walks calmly near agricultural field or village roads close to buffaloes without attacking, that is actually an expected behavior. The cheetah likely perceives the buffalo as too large, too risky, too energy expensive. The buffaloes too don't suffer from any kind of explosive panic and pays curious attention. A tiger entering this same frame can change the entire atmosphere instantly.
ये हड्डी तोड़ा है, ये हड्डी तोड़ दिया है यहाँ वाला।
इसका मेडिसिन चल रहा है अभी?
कोई पैसा नहीं मिला, मैं कई बार रिपोर्ट भी लगाने गया और सरकार ने कोई पैसा नहीं मिला जंगल की तरफ से।
Tiger triggers a very different sensory template than a cheetah. A tiger moves like a stalk and ambush predator, low body posture, slow deliberate movement and advance, direct eye fixation, muscular confidence, and close range explosive attack capability. Indian cattle and buffaloes have coexisted with tigers for thousands of years. Even domestic herds retain inherited and learned responses: bunching, staring, alarm snorts, defensive circling, sudden vigilance around tiger. A cheetah's body language is almost the opposite: lightweight, nervous, visually exposed, high speed cursorial hunter, avoids confrontation, rarely charges large animals head on. To large bovines, a cheetah often does not project the same apex dominance signal. Think of it this way: a tiger enters like a silent tank, a cheetah enters like a cautious athlete. Large cattle sense that difference surprisingly fast. Also, prey animals constantly assess commitment. Tigers often move with intent. Cheetahs near livestock frequently appear uncertain, hesitant, scanning, passing through, or avoiding direct engagement. Bovines pick up on that hesitation. One good horn strike, trampling hit, or sideways toss can cripple a cheetah permanently. And for a cheetah, injury is catastrophic because its entire survival depends on the kind of speed. That's why cheetahs are psychologically cautious predators. They are not weak. They abort hunts very easily, though 60 to 65%. In Africa, adult antelope like wildebeest, gamsbok, even warthogs can seriously injure or kill cheetahs. A horn through the rib cage or abdomen is enough. But a tiger is built for impact fighting, 180 to 260 plus kilogram muscular body, strong forelimbs, thick neck, crushing bite force, ability to wrestle prey down. A tiger expects violent resistance from prey as part of the hunting itself. Even buffaloes that stand their ground know the risk equation is very, very different. If a tiger commits to attack, it can absorb punishment, overpower balance, clamp onto neck or spine, and continue fighting at close range. A cheetah cannot afford that kind of exposure combat. Its hunting system depends on chase, trip, quick suffocation bite, minimal struggle. So bovines often behave almost disrespectfully towards cheetahs compared to tigers. They sense the cheetah's hesitation and physical fragility. In many cases, a determined adult cow or buffalo can actually drive a cheetah away outright from the field itself. Another problem is India's fragmented corridors and near absent grasslands because we have actually destroyed the habitat where earlier Asiatic cheetahs used to actually live and hunt. That ecosystem no longer prevails in India, and there's huge population density. There's predator guild with increased number of tiger and leopard, so cheetahs will face pressure from there as well in terms of making a successful kill. And they will also experience kleptoparasitism, as I mentioned, that even if they can successfully make a kill, others may, and by others I mean tiger and leopard, may actually steal their kill. So kind of a very weak predator in this kind of predator guild, if I look at. So I hope you are watching and you received your answer. So if you or anybody else got any other question about Project Cheetah or want to discuss about this specific interaction further, please feel free to write me in the comment section, and depending on the suitability, I will make another video on it or I will respond in the comment. Till then, take care.